Ladies and gentlemen, we're really shooting it out like Filipinos having babies today. I just kind of finished an early dinner. What I had? Kind of cut up green beans, peppers. What else was in there? There was a sauce with some small chunks of chicken, very small diced chicken. That was my meal. Now, speaking of meals, I don't know if I buy it that the yellow man is gone 8 days without eating a single scrap of food. He's already starting to want to give in, saying maybe I could eat a little bit of pork. Now, here's my advice to him. If you've gone that long without eating, when you're making stupid statements that I don't need food, first of all, that's an insane statement. We all need food to live and survive, okay? Number one, I don't need food. Okay. It's like you don't need a woman, right? Bullshit. All right. Here's what you need to do. Because your stomach has shrunk, and let's buy the story for 1 second that you are not eating for 8 days. Let's say we buy that story. Let's say that you said you lost 5 inches. Well, I don't buy that either, but let's move on. What you need to do is to drink 2.5 liters of water because you need to reach in one session because you need to stretch out your stomach again. Okay. You got to do it in one session. Don't gulp it all down. Sit there and drink 2.5 liters of water to stretch out your stomach because the stomach has shrunk to the size of a fucking walnut. Because if you start eating again, you could kill yourself. I mean, not that I care, mind you. But just like a dog in the street, you see a starving dog with his bones showing. And yeah, if you put a big plate of food for that dog, he's going to try to eat all of that food, but it could kill him. It could kill him. You can't give a dog a large portion of food when they're starving. You got to give them it a little bit at a time to slowly get the stomach to naturally expand. Okay? And I guess the same with the human stomach. You might see these movies where a starving man, he's grabbing everything in fucking sight because he hasn't eaten, for quite a while, for whatever the reason might be. You think he's going to go to a buffet? He'd kill himself. I told you, there's a place called Royal Fork. When I lived in Seattle, I used to nickname it Rusty Fork. And they always had ambulances there because these people wanted to get their money's worth. They get these big fat fucks that would come in there. Big fat fucks. And they just want to gorge themselves with everything, and then inclusive of the desserts. Let's not forget them. They even had chocolate pudding, cakes, pies, even ice cream. They'd sit there a while, open a notch or two in their belt, and they'd start consuming more food. In other words, I want to get my money's worth. Well, I told you the story and how if you really engorge yourself with food, that a lot of your blood is going to rush from what normally goes to your heart. It's going to go towards your digestion process. And they wind up having a heart attack and they get wheeled out on a stretcher in an ambulance. This happens around these buffets all around the world. I think I'm going to sneeze. It's coming. I feel it coming. Okay. I sneezed, that is, for folks. Here it comes. Damn, good one. Cleansing sneeze, So, what he needs to do is drink about 2.5 liters of water to get his stomach stretched out. If he's really not eating. That's what I read. I'm just a messenger. That's what I read. And help stretch his stomach a little bit. The actual organ, not his belly. But the buy the story that this guy who, mass consumes, like the Coneheads, Mass consumption, mass consumption. Okay, it's very hard to believe that he hasn't touched any food in he claims to be 8 days. You buy that story? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I don't think so. He's cheated. He goes, I want to lose 100 pounds, he says. Well, that could make you 100 pounds less in your coffin. 100 pounds, unsupervised. But now he's saying, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to go 15 days. But maybe I'll get supervision. Because he listens to my show. He knows everything I say on here. He has nothing else to do. What could he do sitting around that shack? He's got to listen to people's shows. But when he gets up in the morning till he goes to bed at night, he's listening to people's shows. I mean, what else could he do? In his little cage, 11 by 11, what is he going to do with himself? Got to listen to somebody or talk to somebody on the phone. Now, I don't buy the story. And the reason I don't buy the story is because this guy eats mass consumption of foods. Mass pork, or white meat that they call that. They were trying to promote it. Pork is probably the worst goddamn thing you could probably eat. So is he really going 8 days without food? I don't know. His face does look a little bit thinner. I noticed that. He does need to lose the weight, obviously. I just think he's going about it the wrong way. Okay. I mean, I don't care if he kills himself. I really don't care. I'm just saying that I think he's going about it the wrong way. He's too old to do that. Even my girlfriend said that no. If he was a younger man, and that's still not the way to do it, even if you're a younger man. Even if you're a younger man, that's not the way to do it. Intermittent fasting, that's the way to do it. Intermittent, that's the word. Intermittent. You like to look things up. Look up the definition of the word intermittent. It has to be intermittent. Even skip a meal per day. And over time, you will lose weight in accordance to what you also put in your mouth. You know, if you're going to do mass consumption, you're going to be a conehead, you know, well, that's what you're used to. Then all of a sudden, you're turning that switch off in your body, and your body's going, where the fuck are the nutrients? I need this magnesium for my heart. I need this potassium. I need a certain amount of sodium. I need a certain amount of protein. Because here's what happens. You lose your weight, your muscles just turn to flubber. Because there's no protein feeding your muscles. So it looks like you have a lot more flab. So either way, if he lost 100 pounds, he's still got a big job on his hands. How's he going to get rid of all the hanging flab? Which he has already. Flab. He's always had flab. He's going to go surgery to get that? I don't think so. He's not going to spend the money on that. Now, let's say he loses 100 pounds over time. Okay, let's just pretend. Okay, like Big Kevin. Big Kevin lost a lot of weight. Okay, he's still grossly obese, but you can bet that he has a whole shit of loose hanging skin, which is just as unattractive as the fat. That's what happens. Some people go for surgery to remove that excess skin, but Big Kevin ain't going to spend the money on that. He wants to spend on his toys. And certainly, the yellow man is not going to spend money on that. So either way, I want to be skinnier, but yet you got all that loose skin hanging down. Hello, William. Fazio has 20 kilograms of shrimps in his freezer that he stole from the buffet. He probably still does. They don't allow him to go back there. They ate him out of house. He ate them out of house and home. Is what he did. He sure did. That's why you don't ever hear him talking about going back to the prawn farm, because he was told not to fucking return, and for good reason. This place is a business. They got to make money. They got to make a profit. That's a business. They can't have somebody in there taking advantage of him like that and catching him, putting shrimp in his plastic bag and taking it home and using it for dinner to save money. Talk about a cheapskate. Holy shit. But I don't know how many of you out there buy that he's not eating at all. If he's going on a diet or fasting, I think that would be a nearly impossible task for him. That's what I think. And he wants to lose the weight. I understand that. It's bad for your heart and a whole lot of things, liver and the whole body. Do it the right way. Of course, he won't directly listen to me, but he does listen. That's why he's already saying, well, I might decide to go under doctor's supervision. Duh. You should have did that from the start, bonehead. You should have did that from the start. Now, if he was able to lose 100 pounds, sure, he's going to look a lot better. He'll be able to move around a lot better. He'll even be more active. The ability to be more active. That's what losing weight does. His breathing could even be better too. You'd be surprised what, you know, losing weight can do to you. It's what you need to do. But the secret is doing it right. And you should always be under a doctor or nutritionist supervision. They even have them here in the Philippines, nutritionists. But he don't want to spend the money on that because, he knows everything, right? Of course he does. He's a real man. Well, to starve yourself like that, unscientifically, the way he's doing it, that's like a recipe for disaster. A younger man could probably go the distance that he's trying to do, not totally safely either. But comparatively, he's an older man. He's not really in great physical health. Henceforth, it's like a suicide mission. Okay, William says the customers and staff at the buffet complained of the stench coming from the infected leg. I even called them. Well, I'm not kidding you. I'll admit it. I called them one time and I said, that guy's got some really bad infection on his leg. And I'm not sure, but it could be catchy. Maybe they had told him not to come back in the establishment anymore. Did I have anything to do with that? I don't really know. I can't tell you. I can tell you honestly, I did call them up way back when in his heyday of the prawn farms. Yeah, I did do that. But, there's nothing wrong with losing weight. I commend anybody that's trying to lose weight, but you do it properly. Just eat the right foods. And you don't need 3 meals a day. You can do very well with just 2 meals a day. I could listen to that. I mean, intermittent fasting is the best thing in the world you could do. Not full blown. Then when he makes the stupid, really stupid statements, Scott probably he gives him a lot of advice. He's another one that's fucking obese, ex-police assistant police chief. Anyway, he's too gullible sometimes. I think Yellow Man is just too gullible. He listens to too many people and he gets the wrong advice. But then again, he's supposed to know everything anyway, so he don't need advice from people, right? But yeah, he wants to do. Oh yeah, he makes a statement that I don't need food. Now, do you know how lame that statement is? Because he's such a special man. He's such a special human, an android or something, that he doesn't need food. Okay. Then you're pretty special because we all need food. Even goldfish need food. Even insects need food. Even bacteria needs something to feed on. And he doesn't need food. That has got to be, and I've heard a lot of lame statements on YouTube through the years I've been on here. That's got to be the biggest, lamest statement that I have ever heard. I don't need food. That's like saying I don't need food to live. Okay, die. Die, motherfucker, die. I don't give a shit. Don't eat. Don't eat. Stop making a fool of yourself by saying you don't need food. Are you that extra special? Huh? Are you a special? A special human? Superhuman that doesn't need food? That's a lame statement, if I've ever heard one. Nevertheless, he is going about this the wrong way. Then he starts complaining that Gary gave me $50. He's really upset at Gary now. And maybe Gary did give me the money out of to shove it in my face. I don't know. Maybe he did not have good intent with that. Because, yes, Gary doesn't like me. I understand it. Fazio's right about it. It doesn't matter what he feels about it. He gave me $50. So it really, my pocket doesn't see the goodness or the unkindness of what he did. I mean, it doesn't see the hate. It doesn't see the love. I seen $50, okay? And he didn't have to send that. No matter what his intention was. I told you, people are falling apart because I made a couple of bucks on my show. Fazio's falling apart. Now he's talking about that again, that I'm a fraud. Now, no one's a bigger fraud than you other than Ricky, okay? You guys, well, there's a threesome here, the Three Stooges. Ricky, Barry, and Yellow Man. The Three Stooges. Now, you're the biggest frauds in our local community anyway. You're the threesome there. I don't fraud anybody. It's not a scam. Why? Because I'm generous? He certainly has. I will not say any more than that. Who's he giving money to? You think he goes around being charitable to poor Filipinos? Hell no. His whole life is based on self-survival. It's like his idea is bang a pot, make a lot, but, don't really embrace the country that you're living in. It's like, fuck the people. That's what it is. It's like, fuck the people. I'm out for myself and myself only. So because somebody's being generous, he labels them as scamming people. Scamming people because they're being jealous. Okay, William said, oh yeah, I read that one. Yeah, read that one. So that means if somebody's being generous, it means that they're scamming somebody? You see, unlike this guy, I will show on camera. And I even had to visit the guy with that neurological problem because Gilda told me something pretty amazing this afternoon. That what she found out, this guy that could never walk during that time, impossible, is now walking around. This is the guy I told you that was kind of bedridden, had no mattress or pillow, just on a bamboo type bed, living in a Cuba with little Christmas lights that were LED and run on a small solar cell just to give a tiny bit of light at night. Yeah. And yeah, he was calling them monkeys. He was. He'd make fun. He'd even go to goddamn police, the MBI office. He'd be telling people you got a long nose, or you're too fat or too skinny, tombuk. He insulted people no matter where he went. Look, I don't have to paint the picture of his character. You all know what he's all about. It's just a waste of my oxygen. Let's just say you know how he is. We all know how he is. But he's quick to talk about everybody else. So because I'm generous person, and I have a history of generosity, it means that I'm scamming somebody? Then he says Frank had numerous scams. What numerous scams? What scams? Who did I scam? They go back to that thing with Joy when I raised $100 on GoFundMe, and Holly gave 50, and Mikey 550 gave 50, and I was hoping to raise a hell of a lot more money to help a particular community that happened to be in Teaser. It was a squatters compound. I wanted to buy bags of rice and canned sardines and things like that for the community, not just for Joy. It wasn't just for her, but they fucked up my campaign. Is what they did. What am I going to do with $100? I couldn't feed her community. Now, because Joy and her mother, and there was 3 children there, because they had the need themselves, I just, hey, cash out the money and give it to them, which I wish I hadn't. Not to Joy. Her mother was fine. Her kids were fine, but not to Joy. Because Joy was a scam artist, a real scam artist, okay? I mean, a real scam artist. And I can tell you things that I will not say on here because I don't want the legalities to get out of what she was involved with. And where one of her children wound up because she blamed her child for something that the child didn't do, and the child wound up in jail. I will tell you that much. I'm not going to tell you the details of that. She wasn't a nice woman, even to her own children. Scams? What scams? I'm not aware of any scams. Tell me what they were, Big Mouth. What scams? I don't know of any scams. Spell it out. Who did I scam out of money? I didn't scam anybody out of money. Nobody. Okay. So, William said, I remember when he was calling Filipinos ungoy, monkeys. Yes, he was. Real nice guy. Real nice guy. Anyway, guys, I've been putting on shows like There's No Tomorrow. I just thought I'd come on real quick and do a little rebut to his last, or maybe still on there. I don't know. No, Michael, I'm not scamming anybody, Michael. You're a scammer. The whole hotel thing was a scam. Listen, Now, between you and Ricky and Barry, I don't know who the biggest liar is. You were the original big liar. You were the original big liar. I mean, you still are. There was never going to be a hotel. Never. Never. You're too old to do it. It takes too long to happen. And you weren't going to take a chance when there's other hotels in the area. You lived right next to a hotel. And, Lona Beach took most of the bulk of the vacationers and all that. You weren't going to build a hotel. You just tried to get money off people. That's all you tried to do. You tried to work Warren as much as you can. Warren was practically supporting this guy. Guys, you wouldn't believe it. I don't know. Warren felt guilty or something. Michael had a way of making Warren feel really guilty if you didn't give him any money. He did. And then when Warren stopped giving him money, he just went bonzos. He went berserk. What am I going to do now for money? I better bang the pot to make a lot. Do something. Beg, borrow, steal. Still tell people you want to do the hotel and you need money. He never had an intent to build a hotel. But the great plaza, the statues, the Warren Pavilion, the Warren H. Pavilion. The Warren H. Pavilion. That's a good one. Never had the intent. Dude, you are living what little bit of life that you have left, and you're living in a horrible way. You're not even being fair to yourself. You're not going to live to be in your 80s or anything like that. That's not in the cards. Even if you lost 100 pounds, it's a little bit late. You're just not going to live a long time. You're not. Your whole metabolics are all fucked up. I'll guarantee they are. They're all fucked up, and you're fucked up mentally. You're just fucked up all the way around. Concentrate on living in the present. That's my advice. I have to give you advice. Concentrate on living in the present and making what you have the best of what you have. Become more of a social animal. Be nice to people. Don't call them ungoys. Stop scamming people. Right away, he goes, well, I'm going to come up with a scam, he says. He realizes he's basically telling everybody that what he does is scams. That I'm going to try to make money and I'm going to scam too. Why couldn't you just say, I'm going to come up with ways of making more money? Instead, you had to use that magical word, scam, because it's part of your vernacular. It's part of what you do. You've been scamming people ever since you've been on YouTube. Oy vey. Why did he buy a rebar bender? I'm thinking that it was two things: to make people believe that he was going to build a hotel. The other thing I had in mind is that I think he was trying to raise money. I think he was going to try to rent out his rebar bender to builders. That's what I think. That's what I think was going on with that. Something didn't turn out. And it's just a matter of time before he falls to his roof on the shack. It's a matter of time before he falls off his, makeshift ladder from bad welding or whatever it might be. Accidents seem to find him. I mean, he waddles like a duck when he walks, first of all. Waddle, 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 duck, duck, quack, quack, waddle, 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 duck, duck, quack, quack. Call him the penguin. Penguin. The penguin. The yellow penguin. Boy, you made a reputation for yourself, dude. You guys all making reputations for yourself. Ricky Drama, Barry did, and all down the line. I think you guys should room together. This way, all together, you could plan the biggest scam in the world. Okay, but I gotta go. Okay, I gotta do my second round today of my treadmill. And yes, I'm keeping up with that shit too. Yes, I'm keeping up with that. I'm keeping up, and I'm very good with that kind of stuff. Yeah, I just made my newest collection today. My newest investment here, 25 G's. 25 G's. Just came in fresh today. 25 G's. Okay, 25 G's. Every week for the rest of my life. 25 G's. No, it has nothing to do with loans. Nothing to do with 5-6, as you call it, or Indians, or whatever you call it. Is real Indians? You mean like Native American Indians? We talk about Eastern Indians. I don't know. I don't get involved in that shit. I'm killing it, baby. He buy it because in his delusional mind, maybe he really thinks he's going to be building a hotel. Look, it's a sickness. And you got to understand how mental illness is. In his delusional mind, he wants to try to convince others and himself that he's going to build a hotel. He'll go as far as getting a rebar bender. He'll go as far, well, as long as somebody else is paying for it, why not buy a rebar bender, right? He'll buy a cement mixer with his viewers paid for, with his scamming. Of course, he's not going to build a fucking hotel. And even if he's trying to really do it, he already changed his mind on there. If I don't make a certain amount of money from Ricky, I'm giving up the idea of the hotel. Yeah, giving up the idea. Just like he was dependent on Warren's money to build a hotel. Would he have built the hotel if Warren gave him a shitload of money? Yeah, he probably would have. Because don't forget, the only thing he was interested in is getting a residence for himself. That he would have one of those rooms. Let everybody finance the hotel so he didn't have to put out any money on the hotel. And in turn, he would get one of the apartments where he'd be able to live free. Pretty clever, huh? I saw right through that. From the beginning, and I think a lot of people did it too, right? Sure they did. Friday night when the lights are low. You are the dancing queen. Yes, you are the dancing queen. 8 days without food, huh, bud? I don't buy it. You ate something. You ate something. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You're Mr. Mass Quantity. He ate something. He's just putting on a show like he normally does. Everything is a fucking circus show. Everything is a circus to him. Everything is a lie. Everything is a story. My God, if you get him to start talking about somebody in the past, he'll take it down to the exact second of the day. Something 35 years ago, I met with this guy, and we had lunch at a certain place, and it was it was 12:02. No, I think it was, he goes, 12:07 actually. And it was a cloudy day. He's eating cheese and salami off camera. Of course he is, guys. Of course he is. Look, just, what's the word? Entertain him or just tolerate? I don't know. Humor him. That's just humor him. And that's all it's really about. He's looking for attention, for people to come up with a story so people will listen to his show. Because he's got nothing new to talk about. It's the same old shit. It was back in the yard from one side of the yard, rotted termite board. Fell through the floor. Then the ceiling was termite ridden. He had to fix that. The wall on the side, he had to take a whole piece of wall down another time because it was being eaten up by fucking termites that he brought from America. When he brought that trailer over with all his belongings, old beds, dressers, you name it, all went to shit. If you went, he did a show one time, a long time ago. He was in the trailer, but it was too dark to show everything. But he was saying that everything he had, you could flick it with your fingernails, falling apart. And that's like bed frames, dressers. But he's a pack rat, so he had to take all that shit all the way over to the Philippines. He goes on the roof because the roof is leaking and it's falling apart and it's termite ridden. It's just termites everywhere in that place. Everything in his yard that's made of wood. Do you remember when he was walking in his yard on this little wooden kind of a platform thing and he fell right through? Remember that? Remember he was walking from his door to something and he tripped on something? This guy was getting into accidents all the time. He's accident ridden. But the whole place is covered with fucking termites. Covered with termites. Well, that's bound to happen, I say. Bound to happen. He's his own destiny. His stupidity is his own destiny. Just there are people like that on earth, and he's one of them. Anyway, guys, you're probably sick and tired of hearing me. I've been doing a lot of shows. Hey, look, don't get me wrong. I'm glad to entertain you, but you probably have to start cutting these things down. I did over 4 shows today. Who knows how many? I'm not even counting. But like I said, I'm one of these dudes that if I got something to say and I'm finished doing shit around here and I have nothing else to do, I'm retired. I got the time to put shows on. I got the time to do other things too. I do these things. When I'm not, when I'm done with my chores and everything I need to do for the day, yeah. And if I feel like, I go on YouTube and I put a show on. Lester Bangs says Frank's monologues will one day be transcribed into poems like the Greek tragicomedies. But long after I'm gone, I think my shows will still be on because my sweetie will benefit from that. So whatever shows I have on here likely will still be on. You guys could always go back, when you're jonesing for a little Frank action on here, you'll probably still have my videos there. You'll be talking about me for another fucking 25 years or so. Lester Bangs, I've never heard of you. Are you a new subscriber, Lester? Never heard of you. But welcome, anyway, whoever you are. Probably a troll, but you're all welcome. Hey, I unblocked a shitload of people. No excuses now. So we got the Big Ricky show coming up at 7 or so, right? Well, he is going to be talking about scams. Boy, that a piece of hypocrisy right there. Pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, you'll definitely have to listen to that. He's jealous that I'm making a couple of bucks on here. Not this much, but this is my investment payment today. Yes, there's 25 G's right there. 25 G's. For real. I don't make this shit up. It has nothing to do with YouTube. Nothing at all. Blocked. How long was your blacklist? Oh, I don't know. I had about 300 people on there. Then again, some of these people were going under different sock names, so they were the same people. Probably about 300 people. Or 350, more likely. In fact, I think it was about somewhere around 350 people for all the years. Yeah, no shit. It's true. Come on, thumbs up, people. Tom Sack. Well, we fell a little bit short yesterday on my $200 wish to put together on the show. We did make over 100, and I'm not going to complain about that at all. We were trying to go for 200, but the night was getting tired, and I said, whatever, man. Thanks for the donations and all that for the show, and at a certain point. But I just didn't want to get too greedy and not want to hang in there all day like Fazio does, hoping to get a fucking donation or something, Yeah. Tom Sack. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta go to the bank tomorrow. Fuck. I don't like leaving money around the house. I don't like that at all. It's too late to go to the bank. I'm smart that way. I will use my debit card mostly for places I've taken. Some places I do shop. Actually in Battaglia town, and of course when it's food, SNR and places like that, they take the cards. But I've never been a person that like to walk around with a bunch of money in my pocket. That's kind of dangerous in the Philippines. I don't advise that to anyone. Oh, look at that, 1,250 pesos. Thanks a lot, Otayamo. I don't know who you are, but wow. Cool. Yeah. I always do, but like I said, I'm just going to be a more careful shopper, and more health wise too. There are certain things that I need at SNR that I can't get anywhere else. I always wind up at SNR. It's like my second home, really. And I like it because it reminds me of home. Well, back in Hawaii, because we had actually Seattle, we had the Costco. So we had actually in Seattle, and it's the sister company of Costco, but the same investors part. And it's so nice, in a so-called third world country. And thank you again. That was pretty cool. 1,250 pesos, man. That's like what, 25 bucks or something? Totally cool, man. Totally cool. See that, folks? People sometimes really appreciate you. And it shows out when you least expect. It. Tell me that's a scam, Ricky. Is it a scam that somebody's donating money to my show? Is it really a scam? Why would that be a scam? And Fazio, is that a scam? How's that a scam? I'll say that to you. People just get jealous when somebody sends you money in your show. Maybe just they're not used to you getting donations on your show. Well, understand something. 95% of the time in the history that I've had my show, I was never monetized. Never. That's one reason. That was one reason. Okay? I never, I put on shows whether I had the ability to make money or not, which proves that my channel is not all about the money because 95% of the time, 7.5 years I've been doing shows, maybe 8 years. I'm not sure what it is to be quite frank with you. I did shows whether or not I was making money or not. Where every single person out there, their main goal is to make money on their show. It's never been my goal. It is about time, I would say. I think a lot of you would agree that maybe it's time that Frank does get appreciation from his viewers, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with jumping on that platform. Everybody else does it. Why can't I? Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? Make up for lost time. Yeah, I'll take anybody's super chat, man. That's pretty fucking cool. It's about time. And I'm sorry if people are upset that I'm making super chat on here. Some of you people do very well with your super chat. Why don't you just appreciate what you got? Don't worry about somebody giving me super chat or not. It's really none of your business. I am very happy that somebody likes my show and what I have to say because I'm so goddamn out there in what I say that I'm not afraid to say what's on my mind. I'm not afraid to expose an asshole for being an asshole if necessary. That's not my whole it's not my whole context of my show, trying to find reason to call somebody an asshole. But if you act like an asshole, you know, you'll be treated like an asshole. If you show respect, I'll give you respect. Simple as that. I don't claim to know everything in the world. My name is not, what's that idiot in Boracay? I don't claim to know everything in the world about the Philippines. I'm not an expert on women out here. I've had my share, a few women out here prior to being with the one I've been with now the whole time, 7 years. I'm faithful, always have been, always will. That's who I am. And I appreciate even the small things. I don't have grandiose expectations of anything in my life, really. I'm so super happy that certain things worked out in my life really well. Certain few. Of course, I know his name. I just had a blonde moment. Yeah. I'm not a Jasper, and I'm not going to give you consults and charge you $50. It's very simple. It's free. You don't even have to give me a super chat for that. If you got a question you want to learn about the Philippines, because I happen to live here for a long time, I'd be more than happy to answer your question as eloquently as I possibly can. And if I don't know the answer for that, whatever your question might be, then I'll tell you that right there. I'm not going to charge you $50 for a consult. What kind of a creep is this guy? He's in the Philippines for 9 months and he's an expert? Come on, guys. Yeah, I'll do another SNR trip, William. I enjoy going to SNR, although sometimes I get a little bit disappointed because there's certain things in there they don't have that I hope they have. You know me, I'm Mr. Blueberry. Gotta have my supply of blueberries. And they don't always have it in there. And boy, what they charge for blueberries these days, oh my God. Olivio, Frank, you live in a beautiful house. Many hate you because of that. So I don't know, is that like a fault? Why are they doing that, Olivia? Just green-eyed monsters? Is that a bad thing to live in a half-decent house? Hey, I had to sell a house to get this house. You understand? I had the house in Hawaii. Okay? It's not like I'm wealthy. I had to sell my house in order to buy this house. That's how it works. It takes money. I'm not a wealthy guy. And as American standards go, I'm pretty piss poor as American standards go. Piss poor. Philippine standards? No, I'm not poor by Philippine standards. I'm not. That doesn't make me a bad guy. Feel happy for me and say, hey, Frank, you know you're doing the right thing. You're doing everything for your woman. I talked many shows about this, Olivia. Everything I do is for her. And I'm not a simp either. She don't ask me for dog shit. She's making a little bit of her own money. In fact, actually, she's the one that's making the money now. I did an investment. She's making the money. I'm the one that provided her with the capital, okay? But the money I make on my show here on Super Chat, no matter what I do with the money, is not going to illicit things. Cigarettes, booze, I buy cigs, whatever, things like that. My own pocket. I pay the electric. But this money is ongoing money, which is for a general purpose. And as I said, Ozio tried to say I was going to be scamming people, that I was not going to give a Filipino 25,000 pesos sometime during this Christmas season. As I said, it will be on camera. It'll be on, if I said it, I'm going to do it. It's like I said, Barry's going to wind up in jail and get deported. And I said it, and I meant it when I said it. And he is in jail. He's going to be deported at some point. But he's still got a whole case to go through, 5 counts. So it's going to be a while before I think he actually leaves the country. Now, by the way, something happens in between that seems incredibly unreal, that they're going to release him and send him back because they don't want maybe to fuck up the court system that's too crowded already, and just send him home with a permanent blacklist. They could do that too. They can. They could do whatever they want. I don't know what they're doing. I just know that he has an approved case against him. It'll be through the Barilli courthouse number 60 in Barilli. 5 separate counts that he's going to have to address. Okay, he's got to go to the process. I don't know, unless they paid somebody off or something. I don't know what they did. I can't say. And legally, I'm not going to say that because I don't know. I don't know. Anything could happen. And I mean anything. He might even commit suicide. What the fuck do I know? My lawyer don't know half the shit. I got to do more research than he does half the time just to get an answer from one of these fucking agencies. But I do know updated information that yes, indeed, no question, there are 5 counts against him. He's going to have to answer to that. And that could take years and years and years just to bring it up to, what do they call that? Arraignment. I think arraignment is the first time you go to court and they try to, listen to, okay, why are you here? And what's the charges? And they address the charges, the arraignment, right? Am I correct on that? That's what an arraignment is? Okay. Then it goes from there. Then they have to go through another process called settlement. Well, actually, it's not called settlement. It's, what is it called? Where you sit both parties down and you try to negotiate. So it doesn't wind up to be in the court system. They don't want to overcrowd the court system. What the hell is that? What the hell do they call that again? Having a blonde moment, having a lot of those things. But I'm not going to give in to that. I'm going to say no. Now, what I might be willing to say that if you're willing to permanently ban him from the Philippines, I might agree to that rather than hold up the court system. But it's really a question of how much do I want him to suffer. They want him to spend another, say, 6 years in prison waiting for his case to come up and the finality of his case. Do I want to wait that long? Will he even live that long? Or should we just get rid of him toot sweet and give a permanent blacklist to him? I don't know. Oh, arbitration. Thanks. That was the word. Yeah, arbitration. I did that with this other guy from Facebook. And we went to, his lawyer showed up and the prosecutor who was handling my side showed up and arbitration. And I said, hey, here's my term. Here's my term. Didn't want to meet my terms. I said, okay. See ya. And Peter Van said, see ya. I said, are we done here? Send it right off to the arbitrator. Okay, I'm out of here. We got things to do. We got to go to the mall. Okay, I'm out of here. She goes, okay, no, just sign these papers that, you're not in agreement to work out something. And I was in agreement to work out something. I gave him a price. Him and his lawyer said, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Which was a stupid thing that he didn't agree. Because up to this time, he's had to pay his lawyer to represent him. He had to pay bail, right? Then if this thing goes to court, there's court appearances again from his lawyer. And because he broke the RA code, he could wind up with several years in prison. Was that worth it? What is his lawyer telling him? The guy's trying to give the story, well, I didn't mean to put it on. I thought I was helping the community by saying that. Lame. Actually, that's $15. Was it $1,250? What was that? $15. $1,000. No, that's small. $1,000 is $20. $25. Okay, thank you. Yeah, another $25. So, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing with Ricky. I know what I did with Barry. They're all going to fall down like dominoes. Even Breeders. 5-star residence? Really? At Avita Towers? That's a shit-ass cockroach-filled building. I know the building. I know the building real well. It's a shit house full of cockroaches in small rooms. They may have a couple of rooms in that place privately owned that might be fixed up really nice. But it's a shit house, just like the Decca homes. Bargain basement apartment that Ricky has that he's boasting about. Barry's probably living better than he is. All right, mind you, Barry don't have the big screen TV, but not too much difference, really. I think Barry... Here's another question for you. For you, as Barry used to say. I got something for you, Frank. Holy shit. Did you just give me another, $25? Olimio, or Timio. As Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "Who are you? Who are you?" Well, thank you, man. Dang. Talk about that one, Fazio. Talk about that one, Ricky. I'm killing it, man. I'm killing it. Anybody else before I go? We want to get a different color on here. Let's get at least one more color on here, and I'm happy as a clam right now. But I'll be happier than a clam. We get a different color on here. Let's get a different color. Can we do that? One more different color, and I'll be a happy fucking camper. One more color. I love the color pinkish red, but let's get another color. Can we do that for the duration of this show? That would be pretty cool. You make me have a very happy night. It was payday today, everything, man. Fuck, damn. It's been a circus around here lately. It's been an electric fucking circus. One more color, folks. One more color. That's all I ask. One color. One more color. That's all we need. A different color than this. I don't care what direction you go with it. One more color. That's it. It's envy. Just like some men have penis envy, you know. You'd be surprised. It ain't just the women that are jealous of each other. It's the men more than the women. They're the biggest gossipers. It's the men. You all thought it was women, but you're wrong. It's the men that talk about each other. Thumbs up, Tom Sack, folks. Tom Sack. Algorithms. We want to get another color in here. Can we make a rainbow here tonight? Make a rainbow. Rainbow. Remember my old song? Rainbow. That Fazio used to sing. Rainbow. No, that was my song. Rainbows. Rainbows on my screen. If you know what I mean. You're a retired American living in the island of Mindanao. Roll right on, brother. Right on. Thank you. Whatever your reason for donating to me, thank you. It doesn't have to be a reason. The fact that you've been generous is greatly appreciated, quite frankly. You know, look, nobody has to give me any more money than that. I'd like to see my screen light up because a long time it just hasn't been lighting up. As I said, I was not always monetized, so it's a good excuse. But since I have been monetized lately, it was slow at first, but then recently people have been really getting into my show and realizing that maybe there is some merit to my show. Finally, thinking that there is some merit. Well, there's always been a merit to my show. It's just that when you're constantly attacked by trolls and people think you're the bad guy when you're actually the opposite, and all you're doing is fighting for your dignity, people saying horrible things about you and your family, which is so unnecessary to do on here. Of course, you get mad. Don't get, mad. Get even. You know how you get even on here? Living well. They don't want to see me living well. They don't want to see me making any money on my show. That's what it's all about. We're happy when Frank doesn't make any money on his show. They love it. They live for that. And when I do light up my screen, they get pissed. They get fucking pissed. Hey, it's not like I'm trying to piss you off. If you get pissed because there might be a few generous people that do actually follow my show, decided that they want to donate to my show, fantastic. I mean, why do you have a problem with that? Worry about making your own money on your show. Don't be concerned about what I make on here. As far as I'm concerned, this is long overdue. I'm not going to get into that speech again about what I've done to get a fucking asshole in jail that none of you wanted to help out. PA Trucker should be on here donating. He promised me 50 fucking K and a number of other people. Where are they? They all ran away like fucking cockroaches when the lights go on. That's what they did. Rainbows. Nothing but rainbows showing on my screen. I love seeing rainbows. I love rainbows, even as a kid. Someone pointed, Frankie, look at the sky. Look at that beautiful rainbow out there. I say, wow, what's a rainbow, Daddy? Oh, my dad couldn't really explain it. He wasn't really a very educated man, a great man, but not very educated to explain the science of a rainbow. And a lot of people, if you ask them right now, they don't understand what the science of a rainbow is either. I'm not even completely, learned on the science of the rainbow. I know a little about it, but I just can't be very eloquent to explain it to people on here. I have to sit down and think again. Okay, now rainbows, blah, blah, blah. Not that I'm stupid. I know a lot of things. I know a lot of science. I know a lot of things, but sometimes it just doesn't come to me like it used to. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Somebody sung a song like that. Not Sandra Dee. Who was that? Sunshine, lollipops, and is that the theme? That might be the theme. See, some things come to my mind. Yeah. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbow. That might have not been the lyrics. Sound familiar though. One more color other than red. Let's get another color on here, and I can retire for the night. And feeling the love in my heart for my viewers. It's a nice feeling. What a feeling. One color. Anybody up for one more color on here? Just one more color. Yellow, blue, green, yellow. Was that Leslie Gore? Wow, that's going back. She was a grown-ass woman or a teenager, whatever she was when she came out. If she's singing songs in 63, then if she's still living today, she's got to be pretty up there in age, I would imagine. Hopefully she's still alive and she's healthy and all that. There's some really good artists at the time, I must admit that. There really has been. Even the songs that weren't considered, for its time, they were really good tunes back in the 60s and before the 60s. Real good stuff. Look at Johnny Mathis. Johnny Mathis had a lot of songs that were fantastic. Johnny Mathis. He always had that kind of reverb type of sound when he recorded. I forgot what they call that. It's a form of reverb and how to do in their tracking or something on there, but it had such essence. It was like it had such volume and essence too. I seen Johnny Mathis. I was in L.A. I was in Hollywood with my daughter. I won a contest on a radio station, and I could have took a chick, but I took my daughter. I took her numerous places, and I went to the Billboard Music Awards. And that's what it was all about. Man, I got a cool LA, at the time it was LA Raiders at the time. It was an authentic leather LA Raiders jacket. Somebody bought that off me for good money. I had X-File hats and shirts, and people wanted to take it off my back. I was in Seattle. Seriously. I got this package of stuff from the radio station, from the sponsors, that was really cool. It was really cool. That jacket was not cheap. It was an official jacket. And we got to go to Billboard Music Awards. And let's see, who was there? It was Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was playing. And some of the guest speakers or whatever in there prior to any music. What the hell was the actress that was there? Jesus Christ. Then maybe I am fucking losing it, man. Some real long-term memories. Maybe. That would be pretty natural, really. But, god damn it. Anyway, Snoop Dogg was there, and everything was cool and all that shit. We were in the pit, me and my daughter. She was pretty young. I don't know where I got into this. I forgot what it was. I segued. We were in the mosh pit, whatever you want to call it there, and everything was cool. Big camera booms were above our heads, swinging back and forth. It was pretty cool. But then it got pretty wild. And there's nothing I'll tell you about Los Angeles. Teenagers suck big time. They're cocky, they're arrogant, they can be vicious. Well, seating in the front, but instead they thought that it would be cool that we were in the pit, which I didn't know we were going to be in the pit. Because when Snoop started, holy shit. And my daughter was getting shoved around like a fucking pinball. I said, hey, come on, man. I got my daughter here. Why, she shouldn't be. But they were rude. Let me tell you something. A lot of these Los Angeles kids are pretty privileged. They go to the Billboard Music Awards. Those are mostly privileged teens and 20-year-olds. And the privileged people in LA or in Hollywood area, they're snotbag. They're snooty. They're snooty. They're spoiled, rich little bitches is what they are. There's a certain type of person that lives in California. If you grew up in the Valley or wherever you grew up, you have a certain personality. Hollywood is the worst. Hollywood, because all their parents are fucking rich and they get everything they want when they want. That's right. Gotta have what I want. Okay, we're only gonna be on for a while longer here, so on my show, one more color, and we'll retire for the evening because you're getting ready in an hour for Ricky's show, aren't you? Scammer himself, who's going to talk about me and other people being scammers. Wow, that's like the pot calling the kettle black or something like that. The biggest fucking hypocrisy you could ever hear in the world. that a scammer is calling another scammer a scammer that he says is a scammer. He's labeling somebody as a scammer when they never proved to be a scammer. How easily he throws out those words. That's all he's been doing is scamming, right? Listen to it. I might be watching a movie at that time, so I may not be there live to see it. But see what he has to say. I'll check it out another time in the morning or something before I go to bed and have a good laugh. Scams? Shit, you're at the top of the list of the scams. Fucking ladyboy lover. Fucking loser. Bastard. You're gonna get yours, buddy. You certainly are. You're gonna go down the same path or worse than Barry. Keep it up. You're in a good direction right now to do that. Maybe you can go on his show. I'm not gonna bring people to his show. If I went on his show, it would just bring more viewers to his show. I'm not going to accommodate him. Not even Big Kevin anymore. I used to do that. Always trying to get me on his show. Not because he wanted me to be on his show, Big Kevin. He figured there'd be more controversy on his show. There might be drama if I'm on there. That he'd get more viewers. No, I'm not playing that trick. I'm not playing that game. Okay, Artemio. Well, thank you for being a new member of our show here, and thank you for the contributions. 2 times 1,250 pesos. We'll live with that. We'll definitely live with that. Can't thank you enough. Yep. Good to see rainbows. You can't always get rainbows on your show, but the idea that somebody gave to you is appreciated. Don't be greedy on here, folks. That's what gets you in trouble. Being too greedy. Just be thankful that anybody sends you a goddamn lead fucking peso. That's the way you should think on here, not to get greedy. Okay, so we're gonna hang this thing up here. I'm gonna see if I can find a movie to watch, spend some time with my lady here. We always make sure that we have as much time together as we can, minus the time I put on shows and do chores and everything else I'm supposed to do. So with that being said, remember, I'm here because you're there. And lately you guys have been pretty fucking wicked. You've been cool, and I appreciate it. And I do. Thanks, guys.